Yo, yo, yo. This is your weekly outlook and prediction. Coming to you live. Ladies and gentlemen. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. This is your weekly outlook and prediction. We're about to break it down. We'll also be watching 2 quick documentaries about the crypto flash crash. And I should be doing the weekly outlook and prediction, also video live. I'm going to try doing both live. Sally's in the building. Zaire, Kai Supreme. We gotta get Kai Supreme his membership back. Make sure you guys like the stream. I'm going to be doing a video about the crypto flash crash, but that crash took lives. Check this out. Crypto trader found dead after historic crypto wipeout. This guy was found dead in his Lamborghini supercar. A prominent Ukrainian crypto trader was found dead in his Lamborghini after the historic wipeout. This is all after insiders made money off of that crash. The crash really took lives. crash took lives, ladies and gentlemen. The crash took lives. This is after insiders made profits. This crash literally took lives, man. Like and subscribe. This crash literally took lives. Like I said, like and subscribe for more stock and crypto news. Peace. Bitcoin back at 114,000. Ethereum at 4,100. Cardano 8 at 69 cents. Also, futures are down big. If you look at stock market futures, could be a Black Monday, guys. Look at stock market futures right now. Futures are down big time. Look at them. Futures are down big. We finna see more downside, y'all. Jose, what up? The question is, so the crypto market's recovering, but we're seeing futures are down. I think crypto could decouple, bro. Also, Bitcoin playing on this pattern. We literally came down. We literally came down and retested the breakout pattern. That's all we did. We just came down and retested the breakout pattern. No way a super chat on the weekend. No way a super chat on the weekend. It's massive. Massive. Andrew coming in hot with the super chat on the weekend. Brother, you are legendary for this. I never thought it possible.
Let's go rockets
Rare
to the moon,
weekend
fam.
super
We
chat.
live rocket,
Guys,
rocket,
we
rocket,
literally
rocket,
came back
rocket.
and retested it perfectly. Do you see that? So this is why I think we could see the Bitcoin market decouple. And if you watch my video from Friday, make sure you check out that video because I talked about what could happen during the crash. This video is going to be important coming up. This video is going to be very important coming up, talking about what we're about to see. I believe the bubble is popping. I believe the bubble is popping. And we're gonna see full bubble pop, bro. They tried to shake everyone out on crypto. Look, Ethereum still in a falling wedge. ETH still in a falling wedge. We could see that accumulation that I talked about. We could still see the breakout. ETH is still in a falling wedge. Oops. Did not mean to do that. Now, guys, we're going to watch a documentary about the crypto flash crash. We're going to watch that together. So we're still in the falling wedge. ADA definitely looking shaky. ADA definitely looking shaky. We need ADA to come back up. It's up 9%, but shit. That crypto John was a wipeout, bro. We down for the month. Like, look at this shit. This month down month for most coins, man. Bitcoin took the hit though. Bitcoin was able to stay up more than other coins. It's at 115,000 already. That's why I said Bitcoin is important to have it mostly in your portfolio. Altcoins risky, risky, risky. They take bigger hits. They make bigger moves to the downside. Like Bitcoin remained up. It wiped out hard. But compared to the rest of the coins, percentage-wise, it didn't drop nearly as much. From peak, which is all-time highs, it was down 17%. It's down, it's only down 8.95% from all-time highs right now. It's the ultimate place to store your cash, man. Not financial advice. Ultimate place to store your extra cash. And if you see those dips, accumulate. Do not let them wipe you out of your crypto positions. In my personal opinion, those are your most valuable assets. Crypto is the most valuable asset. Crypto is everything. Crypto is life. GameStop was able to recover all the way back to the upside here in after hours. GameStop actually slightly green in after hours. AMC down 3% after hours. After a big pop, a decent pop. We had a decent pop this week. God dang it, I just moved the whole line. We had a decent pop this week and then we pulled it back. I just moved that whole line, man. So we need to get back above this trend line, if possible. We need to see what we can do there. AMC, though, you guys know the deal. If they do the yes vote, it's all over, cuz. Meme stocks could see downside with the overall market. I told you guys this in that video. All right? This is why this video is important. Because if I break down what do I mean, like what do you need to see? And I use ChatGPT to help break it down. You would need to see SPY capitulate, not just pull back, in order to get margin calls. Back when we had that crash, that big crash, there was a lot of margin calls. when we had the big crash from the Trump tariffs. But if we don't get any good news, you're gonna see more downside. The crypto market's definitely decoupling though. Okay, stock futures up a little bit here now. Stock futures are up here a little bit now. I figure what we're most likely gonna see is a little bit recovery and then drop down. But if we don't get good news, oops. If we don't get good news about the Trump tariffs, it's gonna be bad. Trump says don't worry about China. Wall Street braces for Monday meltdown that could knock the wheels off the stock market. I think we're gonna see a little bit of recovery to drop, but there's a very strong chance that we can open up down heavy. All right, so this one, I'm gonna have to approach it a little bit differently, guys. This week is gonna be a little bit different. Most likely, I think it's gonna be a red week. All right, but there's a couple scenarios. We could see a big drop down in the morning on SPY. If we do see that, you're gonna see most assets pull down with it, and then SPY will recover and then drop down again. So what do I mean by that? Big gap down, SPY opens up, it recovers, and then drops down. Okay? That's what I think will happen if we get a big gap down. You see the big gap down in the morning, SPY recovers, and then makes a lower high, drops down. SPY. Andrew, thank you so much for that super chat. SPY. Also I don't think we're going to see recovery right away. Futures are up right now, but and crypto's recovering. So most likely you'll see a little bit recovery. There is a chance we gap down, but I think we see a little bit recovery pre-market. We come up and then drop down. I think we see a little bit recovery pre-market. We come up and then we make a lower high and drop down. Unless Trump comes out and says, hey, all of this is over. If Trump comes out and says all of this is over, we'll be good. But right now, Bitcoin's up 4%. Bitcoin pushing up. If Bitcoin gets back above key level of 115,700, we're back in the game big time. I repeat, if Bitcoin gets back above key level of 115,700, it is back in the game. Right now, it is using that as resistance, but man, it looks like we could get a pump. So what I'm expecting, guys, what I think is going to happen is I think we're going to see a pump. I think we're going to see a pump to the upside, and then that's going to be a bull trap that leads down. All right? I don't think we're going to open up tomorrow and have some mega wipeout. Now, is that a possibility? Yes. I'm not going to say that I know everything and I can say for sure that that's not going to happen. But based off what I'm looking at, we are most likely going to recover a little bit and then bull trap and then continue down. We're getting nothing. Radio silence from Trump, but that it could come out later. Especially around 8 o'clock. When the pre-market opens up, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I bet you around that. All this stuff was a show, guys. All right, so we're going to watch this. I'm going to record this, and then we're going to try to do the weekly outlook and prediction. video, but if I can't do it live, then I mess up, then oh well. Normally when I do it live, I don't. Alright, we're gonna try doing this. Pro Scab, what up? 801, Rocket Man. Also, thank you because we're at 16,466 subscribers. I repeat, 16,000. $16,465 subscribers, guys. Insane. 16,465 subscribers. Thank you so much. Gotta put edits on this real quick. Gotta put edits on this video. Then we're gonna watch this crypto reaction. We're gonna drop this. We're gonna watch this crypto documentary together. I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts with that. Sorry guys, I'm just adding. No way. What is that? This is legendary. Andrew going ham. Andrew going ham. Andrew going ham with another two-piece. Andrew going ham with another two-piece. He just dropped the two-piece. He just dropped the two-piece. This is on the weekend, by the way. This is on the weekend. Andrew is going ham with another two-piece. What is this, Andrew? What are we doing? What are we doing? Also, worked on the class heavy this weekend. It is literally almost done. Bro, Andrew, thank you for that super chat.
We buy low, we sell high, follow the DataZero show.
Thank you, bro. Massive. All right, guys. So we have the crypto news out there. Let's go ahead and watch this. We'll break this down. But I did talk about the trader. So the main things happening right now is the Trump tariffs, obviously the massive wipeout, the insider trading on crypto, which I'll be showing you guys here. Crypto is in extreme fear right now. Crypto is in extreme fear. That is a buy signal. That is a buy signal. Extreme fear, always buy. Extreme greed, always sell. Extreme fear right now, crypto market. That is huge. Let's see stock market fear and greed. It's in fear heading into extreme fear. The stock market is in the fear heading into extreme fear. Guys, if you can, follow me on the official DataZero TikTok. Follow me on the official DataZero TikTok if you haven't done it already. If you have TikTok, make sure you guys follow me. We already have 10 followers. I appreciate that. Right here, I posted it in the comment section. So Bitcoin's up almost 4%. If we see it break over 115,700, definitely going to be looking nice there. Ethereum's back over 4,000, so that's good there. Ethereum's still in this overall falling wedge. Beautiful. Let's watch this. Let me get some water and then just watch this. All right, so we're gonna be watching this documentary here. We're gonna watch two of them. And we're gonna watch them together about the crypto crash. Let me find the CoffeeZilla one. What the heck? All right, we'll try looking for it. Hold on.
Welcome to an 100.
All right, we're gonna watch both of these. We'll watch the CoffeeZilla first, and then this is Upper Echelon and CoffeeZilla. Shout out CoffeeZilla, Upper Echelon. We're gonna watch these two, and then I'll give you guys my thoughts and opinions on these as they play out. Type of 1 in the chat if you can hear that. Type of 1 in the chat if you can hear the
This video
video.
is brought to you by
Type of 1 in the chat if you can hear the video.
Special offer they're providing to the entire upper echelon community.
Type of 1 in the chat.
Everybody already knows
if you
that
can
the
hear the
crypto
video.
industry is, largely speaking, corrupt. I don't really feel like anyone reputable even disputes that fact, at least not anymore. But rarely do we ever see such a stone...
Make sure you guys could hear that. Type of 1 in the chat if you could hear it. All right. Okay, so we're gonna be watching this, and then giving you guys my thoughts on that, and then we will do the weekly outlook and prediction if I have time, which I should. I started early enough. And then I'll be releasing both of these on video as well. Content machine in full effect right now. All right, so shout out CoffeeZilla. Obviously, the main videos from CoffeeZilla and then Upper Echelon. Check out their channels. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. All right, guys, so what is up? You are back for another video with DataZero. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about the crypto flash crash in this video. I'm going to be watching a CoffeeZilla and Upper Echelon video showing you guys and talking to you guys about the crypto flash crash and showing you guys some insider trading that occurred. Remember, everything on the blockchain is checked and written down in history. So let's go ahead and show you guys what's going on with this. Let's hop in right now.
Welcome to an $190 million insider trading analysis. Someone made $190 million while the crypto markets were crashing yesterday in light of tariffs that seem to have been preempted by a very specific trader. We're going to get into it. I want to be clear that I'm not accusing anyone of a crime here. Insider trading specifically relates to securities. We've been pretty clear that crypto, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum, are not securities. So I don't even know what this is. I think this is all legal, kind of. I don't think it should be, as you'll see. But
so that's the thing, because crypto is not a security. Is this all legal? We are seeing now more than ever white collar crime at a industrial scale. It's crazy. Crime is legal in America.
The question is, what did this guy know? Okay, how did somebody make $190 million while everyone else was losing their shirts yesterday? If you don't know, there was one of the biggest crashes we've ever seen in crypto. And someone came in 24 hours before and started placing shorts against the market. Short is just when you bet that the underlying asset is going to go down in price and you will make money on that. Now, this all started October 9th. At 16:39 GMT time, they start accumulating this Bitcoin short. They initially put, and this is not chump change, guys. This isn't under your couch, pennies. This is.
Now wait till you see the exact times that they do this. You cannot deny that this is insider trading.
$80 million that initially gets deposited, and they start placing shorts against Bitcoin. Okay, that's fine. Now the amount is unusual, but that itself is not the unusual part. Then we have Ethereum starts to get shorted at 3:49 GMT. Interesting. $30 million gets deposited into this account. Immediately start placing major bets that the market is going to go down. Why is this significant?
Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Because at 14:57, this is only a few hours later, like 12 hours later, Trump posts on Truth Social that they are calculating a massive increase on Chinese.
So 12 hours later, massive short positions are made, and then 12 hours later, we get the Truth Social tweet or post, whatever you want to call it.
Tariffs. This is due to a rare earth mineral dispute. But the point is, nobody knew this was coming, except, of course, maybe this guy, because he's already got these multi-million-dollar shorts. Now, where I think this goes from suspicious to downright diabolical is the fact that at
literally diabolical.
this point, the market dips a little bit because you have these threats of tariffs. But the person does not start closing out their shorts yet. which I think is very interesting. If you place this huge short bet,
we've seen that,
and then the president tweets something like this, you would think you would close out your order. But not only do they not do that, not only do they not close out their short, they continue to place short bets against Bitcoin. In fact, this person continues to short Bitcoin all the way up till 2049-23 GMT. Why is that significant, ladies and gentlemen? It's because 2049 is the last short he places, okay? 2050 GMT. A minute later, 1 minute later, Trump announces they're considering an 100% tariff on.
So he starts opening up short positions beforehand, and then all the way up until 1 minute before the post, he stops placing them, and then this post drops. This had to be somebody on the inside that was very close to Trump. It had to literally be somebody on his team or his kids or him himself. Crime is legal, ladies and gentlemen. I know there's some Trump fans in the audience, but ladies and gentlemen, this had to have been somebody very, very close to them or him.
China, which of course tanks the market, and
I'm
this
gonna call
person
it how I
makes
see it.
literally $190 million in 24 hours. Meaning the guy was placing shorts up to 1 minute before Trump announces this big, huge 100% tariffs. And then,
we don't know
by
who
the
it
way,
was yet.
Immediately, as if he knew something, we start seeing the shorts close only 30 minutes later.
Someone
so
with
both
a lot
the
of money.
ETH and Bitcoin short closed 30 minutes later. By the way, these accounts were funded by the same people. This is the same person making these trades. So to recap, this person not only times the same day that a big announcement was made, he makes these $110 million short against crypto. He then also conveniently waits past the initial tweet about tariffs until the most significant announcement, which is the 100% tariffs, and he's shorting it up till 1 minute before that. Guys, this is some of the most blatant crime is legal moments we've seen. 190
literally blatant, like he said, crime is legal moments, ladies and gentlemen. This is wild, and to me, it had to have been somebody with a deep insider knowledge that definitely had to have been close to Trump. Had to have been. Now that could be a number of people, but
$1 million. And the question is anything going to be done? No, actually, I can already answer that for you. Probably not. But I think what we are seeing here is just the rise of insider trading across the board. I think
we have Nancy Pelosi doing it. We have everybody. Everybody's getting on board with it. The president made a meme coin, dude. Crime is legal. Crime is legal. It's crazy.
It's disgusting. I think it ruins capital markets, and it's bad, but I don't really know what to do about it because it just seems like everywhere we're seeing the insider trading. I don't know if some of you remember there was a time where, Trump was going to post on his Truth Social that it's a good time to buy crypto, and people were buying SPY calls immediately before it. But this is just completely blatant stuff, just given the perfect timing of it all and the size of the bets that were made under such kind of sniper precision. At least that's what it looks like to me. But I also wanted to say this isn't the only place where this is happening. This YouTuber Cheddar Flow has a tool where they analyze options, and they pointed out that recently there's been a big AMD announcement where they partnered with OpenAI. OpenAI is going to receive some of their stock, and conveniently people were making bets on that as well immediately before it.
The most insane.
So this is another example of more insider trading, blatant insider knowledge trading.
Trade of the entire year just happened. An AMD whale bought 6 million plus of out the money calls, which was super unusual. Cheddarflow actually posted on X right as that occurred. And then only 2 trading days later, we had news that OpenAI took a 10% stake in AMD. And those calls that these whales loaded only 2 trading days before were already up 300%.
So yeah, I just wanted to point out that it's not just crypto where this is happening. Seems like across the board. By the way, I love the title of this. It says this has to be illegal, except I don't think anything's gonna happen about it. And that seems to be the rough vibe in the industry recently. It's that hey man, It might not be technically kosher, but if you can get away with it, you're probably fine. And it seems like most people are getting away with it in this market.
I mean, we have people like rug pulling people. We have literally people out there that, I don't know if you guys heard of the guy who literally, this is horrible to say, but babies with terminal illnesses, he uses them to make meme coins, and he steals their likeness, and then he scams them, and then he rugs the meme coin. And then he goes and actually talks about the baby bad on social media. Like, this guy is a pure psychopath. But we live in a crazy time. I don't know if you guys seen the video I did on Pump.Fun. Like, we live in a crazy, crazy time where crime is legal and people are just like, everybody's just, it's greed. This is going to collapse, bro. I don't want to be doom and gloom, but this is going to collapse. This is end times. This is end level shit, y'all. End time level shit.
Even the Nobel Peace Prize isn't safe from people front running. This is the poly market of it. And as you can see, this is where it finally got announced, the winner. But before that, traders were already basically pricing in the fact that somebody knew ahead of time that the person who won was going to win hours before. Wow. And they made a bunch of money doing that. So there's insider trading, an opportunity to insider trade across the board for people who have that sweet, sweet insider knowledge. And it doesn't seem like a lot's being done about it. In fact, specifically, the smartest thing to do is just know what Donald Trump's going to post on Truth Social ahead of time, since so much of our market is now just moving based on tariff threats. That's like
Folks,
where the real alpha is. It used to be you had to buy a Bloomberg terminal.
This for years. It is part of the game. He who has the gold makes the rules. Spot trade WEL.
For the record,
yeah,
I think
we got to get our bag.
No,
economy. That's right, bro. We got to get our bag. We have to get our bag, dude, and we have to do it using the markets. So they are going to try to scare you out of the markets. Me, I'm getting the bag any means possible. There's only one way to multiply your wealth and get hundreds and thousands of % gains, crazy gains, and it's through the market. I'm doing it too. They're just, the game, we have to know that the game is rigged for the big guy. We know that. All right, guys, so that is the CoffeeZilla. Let's go ahead and move into Upper Echelon, which also did a great video about it, about 14 minutes long. And then we're going to go ahead and do the weekly outlook prediction. Let's go ahead and hop in this one right now. Shout out Upper Echelon. Check them out.
This video is brought to you by Incogni. Stick around to hear more about the special offer they're providing to the entire Upper Echelon community. Corrupt. I don't really feel like anyone reputable even disputes that fact, at least not anymore. But rarely do we ever see such a stone-cold, blatant example of corruption and insider trading than what happened on October 10th of 2025. Let me explain. Crypto is dominated overwhelmingly by whales. Large accounts executing profitable trades and manipulating the markets to the tune of billions.
Let's get some hype in the chat for Andrew.
This is a well-known fact. But what happened on October 10th is unprecedented. Following a social media post by President Trump at precisely 4:50 p.m. Eastern Time, which is important, following a social media post about new tariffs being imposed on China, not only did the traditional stock market take a hit, actually the regular stock market took a hit after this post right here, in which he said, quote, "One of the policies that we are calculating at this moment is a massive increase of tariffs on Chinese products coming into the United States of America," end quote.
So this was a series of posts.
a.m., as in right here, before the market dumped. But later on, at 4:50 precisely, he said this, quote, "Starting November 1st, 2025, or sooner, depending on any further actions or changes taken by China, the United States of America will impose a tariff of 100% on China, over and above any tariff that they are currently paying. Also on November 1st, we will impose export controls on any and all critical software," end quote. Honestly, he's been...
And that's why, obviously, tech took huge hit, man. So this is getting crazy. We have to get good news, or we're going to see a continuation down.
Threatening things like this constantly during the administration. I don't think anyone is actually surprised by this. But one thing to consider is timing. At 4:50 p.m. Eastern on a Friday, of all days, the New York Stock Exchange is closed. But the crypto market is always open. And following this announcement of further tariffs, enormous ones as well, on top of export controls on critical software, the crypto market basically fell apart. It's called a flash crash is the technical term, where rapid decreases in token prices trigger liquidations and subsequent forced selling afterward, which compounds the problem in a down.
There was a lot of people using leverage, and again, people using leverage in the crypto market is something that happens all the time. But this leverage exacerbates the moves, and that's why we saw people get wiped out, and then we saw even more dumpage.
Spiral. algorithmic trading is a very delicate thing lately.
And then, of course, we know now that someone also took their life because of this, ladies and gentlemen. So this is crazy. This is crazy level stuff. People are taking their lives over this stuff. So this is wild.
When the cycle starts, it can be difficult to stop. And it certainly didn't help that major exchanges like Binance and Coinbase encountered service errors during like the peak of these problems.
Guys, hit the
Some of them
like
so
button
bad that
and
they'll be
subscribe if you
compensating their
haven't. I
customers as a
appreciate you.
result. But all things together, it was a pretty big and very fast crash. Bitcoin, which had already been struggling throughout the day as a result of the president's first tweet or post on Truth Social or whatever, fell off a cliff after the second one, okay? Like right over the edge, losing over $10,000 of value in seconds, literal seconds. Altcoins, many of them in the top 100, lost even more, sometimes approaching 70% losses on token
ADA was down like 70, 80%. It was insane.
value in a hurricane of panic selling. The worst ones basically zeroed out briefly, and liquidation pressure was mounting all over the place. It's difficult to get an exact figure on this, but current estimates are that some $19+ billion were lost in total or liquidated, with hundreds of prominent traders getting zeroed out completely.
Massive
I don't
losses.
necessarily have a whole lot of sympathy for the crypto traders using hefty amounts of leverage who ultimately got burned by this, but I think it's important to accurately discuss the fact that many, many billions of dollars were vaporized in a heartbeat, and that has tangible real-world consequences. Ukrainian investor Konstantin Galish was found dead in his Lamborghini shortly after the crash, in what many are speculating as an apparent suicide as a direct result. He allegedly lost tens of millions of dollars, money that didn't actually belong to him, and had no way to...
And we saw other stories as well across the board of multiple, obviously, traders that were using leverage getting just absolutely destroyed. Some people even added more margin to their account so they could try to withstand the blow, but we had other people getting liquidated, which causes a cascading effect, driving the market down lower.
Pay it back. But regardless of the high-profile media attention that this specific case is receiving, the stone-cold reality is that when a move like this happens, a dramatic and quick move like this with all these liquidations, a lot of people lose everything. But a handful of others, in this case I would assert them to be insiders, almost certainly, they make millions. Before going further, data tracking is currently at an all-time high, and only anyone who wants to cut scams, theft of identity, process, sign up for the website, give them legal permission to contact data brokers. So everyone's probably Googled their names before, done for you. Legal departments for all the different companies, and successfully time-intensive.
This is a commercial right here.
For the people you don't, you can get to the channel. Direct result of Donald Trump posting on Truth Social, okay? That's it. That's not to say that some other factor wouldn't have caused a crash in the future, right, of similar magnitude. The crypto industry was massively over-leveraged to a degree where it was almost begging for an incident like this to transpire. But we only have the cards that were dealt. It's not really useful to speculate what else may have caused a crash in the future. Well, remember the timing, 4:50 p.m. Eastern? Yeah, quickly discovered by social media users and verified so far by forensic experts who are still digging through the aftermath. It turns out that multiple traders had not just made profit from this move, they had made nearly $100 million each of highly leveraged and practically immediate profits, down to the second, in tandem with the president's announcement. This account...
So this is also just showing you guys how crazy the timing was of all of this. This incident was insane. It's also still being investigated. Like I said, everything in the blockchain is recorded, so we should be able to find out more information here soon as more people dig through this and the dust settles.
Right here, if we go back in the recently filled orders as far as we can, this account, which was opened less than 24 hours before the crash took place in the lead up to the president's 4:50 p.m. social media post, was opening massive leveraged short positions against Bitcoin down to the literal second that the post went live. Look at this. 447, 448, orders are filling and filling, tens of millions of dollars flowing in and flowing in. Keeps going into 449. Even the final short position order itself filled at the exact same time as the president posted. This account was
literally shorting up until the second of the post. To the second of the post. 4:50 p.m.
funded with $80 million just 4 hours before that. And then as soon as the post came out, the account stops immediately. The short positions that they opened become massively and immediately profitable.
So they get instant profit. This is how you know it was insider. It literally had to be someone knowing that he was tweeting. It was up until the minute, or posting. It was up until the minute of the Truth Social post. And then they stop shorting and they instantly get profit and this is big money. Listen, it gets worse.
And this trader closes out with a near $100 million gain. I'm sorry, I was actually wrong about this, real quick, breaking script and putting the paragraph in after. It's not that the account was funded 4 hours before the post, it's that the account was funded 24 plus 4 hours. So you can't even make the argument that they saw the first post in the AM and said, oh, well, there's going to be tariffs and had some kind of stroke of genius. They did this. They initiated this play from scratch before the president ever said a single thing.
I appreciate you.
Before the public knew anything about incoming tariffs of any kind, and they basically had the foresight to set this whole thing up and then pinpoint accuracy within the second, do it right down to the president's post. Okay, so I was wrong about a detail there, and it makes it so much worse when you actually look at what the reality is. It's insane. They began cashing out $10 million at a time after not just predicting, but opening a mind-blowingly risky trade with absolute precision. Like, you could not have been more perfect.
Just 10 million,
like,
10 million,
the only
10 million,
explanation
10 million.
that I see is that they literally knew when the president was going to post. That's the only way that any of this makes sense.
And that's exactly what I said. They literally had to know when he was going to post. It had to be somebody very, very close to him, if maybe not the man himself.
Down to the second. And they weren't the only ones. Other traders opened multi-$100 million positions in Ethereum, with an untold number of what I would call exceptionally clear insiders benefiting directly from the president's activity.
Now, this is where some of the info kind of mixes. A lot of people are saying it was the same person, but some people are saying that the Ethereum side of things were different traders. So we haven't got that clear yet. Like in the CoffeeZilla one, he said this is the same person. Here, he's saying that it was either the same person or someone else.
But the pattern of tariff and subsequent suspect stock sales, this is not a brand new thing, okay? Perhaps the most prolific example historically that we can look at would be Liberation Day, where the president unveiled sweeping tariffs and sent the entire global market kind of on a roller coaster ride. What if I said that this didn't happen in a vacuum? What if I said that Pam Bondi, Trump's attorney general, sold millions of stock on the same day that the tariffs were announced? What if I said that the acting general counsel for the White House, as in the White House's lawyer, sold shares in a dozen different companies directly before the market chaos, but he purchased, he didn't just sell, he purchased shares of Palantir, which is also coincidentally shortly before Palantir got a massive government contract. How about Gautam Rana, United States ambassador to Slovakia, of all places, who likely sold millions in stock right before the automotive tariffs and the Liberation Day tariffs. I can keep going, by the way. Sean Duffy, transportation secretary.
Let's not forget Nancy Pelosi. She's the greatest trader of them all.
He sold shares of like 3 dozen different companies a couple days before Trump started whining about reciprocal tariffs, even though his tariff structure is based on trade deficit, which is brain dead. Stephanie Siptak Ramnath, same deal, selling within 2 days of Liberation Day. And the list is practically infinite. If you look at each individual case of tariff announcements, no matter which one you choose, there are politicians, friendly politicians to the administration, who are making millions selling directly before or purchasing things that go up directly after. Loyalists, so it would seem, in my opinion, are consistently able to beat the market as a direct result of the president's social media and public policy behavior. Crypto is a rigged casino, that much we know, well and truly beyond the standard level of corruption that we see in traditional markets. But when central exchanges stop processing orders for retail investors, right in the middle of a crash that came as a direct result of the president's social media ravings, which were predicted to the very second
this guy clearly doesn't
by
like
unknown
crypto.
mega-rich traders who come away with tens or hundreds of millions afterward, there
a
needs to be a large, ongoing, and very comprehensive investigation into this. Except there probably won't be.
There's not going to be any investigation at all.
Again, I don't have a massive degree of sympathy for people that trade on margin and overextend themselves. It comes with the territory. Ongoing risk is tremendous, obviously, but when the entire space experiences what seems to be a coordinated liquidity crunch off the back of a presidential tirade, which results in specific
And this is why I think the crash was literally orchestrated as well. I literally think the crash was orchestrated. Bitcoin was high and it was taking off. I really feel like they're trying to stop crypto from taking off. ETH was about to take off and it felt like whales, and we saw the whale manipulation. Every time cryptos are reaching new highs and about to blast off, it seems like they knock them down, bro. It seems like they're trying to accumulate this stuff before it takes off, because it is finite. Bitcoin is finite. There is only so much of it.
Anonymous and almost clairvoyant traders making off with the life savings of untold thousands or tens of thousands of people. I don't look at that situation and think, haha, LOL, just another day in the markets.
Zelly's in the building. Michael, what up? Kai Supreme.
I see that and think, my God, the pattern of insiders benefiting from erratic behavior is now so obvious that they're doing it right down to the literal second. As the dust settles and they sift through all the rubble, I want to make a prediction right now, okay? We can circle back to this later on. My prediction is that we've only barely seen the tip of the iceberg on this flash crash. The Bitcoin whale, the Ethereum shorts, those are like cockroaches in the basement. You see one, but there's 55 more that you don't see, because they're hiding in the walls and the floor and under the boxes. This crash likely claimed multiple lives and stole the future from a massive number of people who were
I think this guy's extreme. I just want to say, in my personal opinion, I think this guy's extremely bearish about crypto.
Tricked into the usage of leverage that they couldn't afford by the overly optimistic and predatory financial sector, which has now completely wiped out the retail crypto space across potentially hundreds of tokens. At first, honestly, I was looking at this in a really sort of jaded way. Whatever, another crash. But the more I learned and the more I saw, this was a very suspect chain of events that further emphasizes the fact that high-level white-collar crime appears to be the new normal in America. Obviously, the aftermath remains to be seen.
That's what I was saying. This is the main point of all of this, guys, is we're seeing more and more and more of this. And is this because they're cashing out? They know that this whole thing's going to collapse soon? Or is it because people are just getting greedy? But I know when Rome was falling, people got real greedy in the end, man. And history repeats itself. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but I'm just saying what I see, and I call it how I see it.
Speculate that a large industry player is already dead or bankrupt, limping in the background. Other people speculate that this would be the start of the next hype wave, which I really don't think is going to happen. I really hope it doesn't happen. That would never end well. And I've seen every single theory in between as well. But my hope is that some level of accountability gets doled out to those who knew something and traded on insider information before that was public, because it really feels like that happened here, with just openly egregious levels of brazen carelessness. I don't think that this is the dawn of a brave new crypto hype wave. I think millions of people just saw what happens when the insiders make a play on the floor of a rigged casino, openly, and they practically brag about it at this stage. And it really doesn't taste good, right? They're not coming away like, wow, please, sir, may I have some more? Somehow I doubt that the people burned by this are thinking, oh, cool, let me throw...
Andrew with another super chat, bro. You are out of control. Andrew, thank you for the two-piece, bro. Thank you for the two-piece. Bitcoin did a little bit better. But XRP dropped off.
Capital into these awesome, great, technologically sound markets. Or, I don't know.
When XRP goes to 12 Bitcoin to 136K01 CRIE dollar.
For the industry. They're thinking,
I hope XRP
get me
moves,
out
man.
of this hellhole, because that was completely
I got
unfair.
XRP, I got BTC.
And they're right to think that. Anyway, I'm going to keep looking in the background.
I hope crypto moons in general, because I want us all to win, man. Thank you, Andrew, man. Crazy support.
It's more of just a stream of consciousness thing,
Misty
more
Blue
so
in the
than like a
building.
structured investigation. But there is plenty to find, I hope. I doubt I'm going to be the one to find it, right? I don't know who these people are. I doubt I'm going to be able to learn who they are, or whatever they actually knew, if anything. But hey, you never know. And if you do want to like say something or reach out to me, anyone watching this, you can contact me through the upperechelon.gg website or Discord or any.
All right, guys. So that was pretty much it. This was recorded live, so I appreciate anybody who's watching this live. If you're watching this on the video, man, make sure you guys check out the live streams. I appreciate you. If you find this content informative, educational, entertaining, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. I truly appreciate it. Andrew, thank you for the support, man. But go crazy. Guys, this was the crypto flash crash. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments down below. Me, personally, I think the rise of white-collar crime is definitely increasing. And again, I don't want to be doom and gloom, but it feels like they are literally just grabbing. Everybody's trying to cash out and prepare for basically the collapse of all of this, man. Just from analyzing and studying every single day, that's just what I'm seeing. Now, again, that doesn't scare me. I prepare. If you can prepare for something, you can be ready for it. But I think things are going to get crazy, ladies and gentlemen, in the future. But I do think crypto and Bitcoin are going to be a way out. We're going to talk about the charts and stuff on the weekly outlook and prediction. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And as always, man, I appreciate you. Make sure you have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out. All right, so we recorded that live. Andrew going crazy with the super chats. Much appreciated, dude. Andrew going crazy with the super chats. Andrew going crazy for the super chats. Bro, you're wildin', dude. And this is the weekend? Bro, you made it feel like a weekday. You made it feel like a weekday, bro. Content machine in full effect. Look, anyways, Ethereum's still in the falling wedge. So I believe we could see possibly upside on Ethereum. And look at BTC, almost over 115,700. If Bitcoin recovers over 115,700, we're back in the game. Also, Bitcoin is back in the accumulation zone. I'm telling you, bro, I know that guy said we're going to crash more, and crypto could come down if it's sold off as liquidity. But overall, I think there's going to be a point where crypto bottoms and the stock market doesn't. I talked about it in the video that I made. Make sure you guys check out that video if you missed it. I talked about what I think is going to happen to AMC and GME if the market crashes, and I talked about what I think is going to happen to crypto if the market crashes, and I gave different scenarios. We got 60 people watching right now. Man. I truly appreciate that. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Let's go. Weekend vibes, DZ fam. Andrew going absolutely insane with the support right now. Multiple super chats dropped right now. Multiple super chats being dropped. 2-piece, 2-piece, 5-piece, 2-piece. Okay, so let me do some push-ups for the chat. All right, there was a 30 clip. Let's do the weekly outlook and prediction. Cardano ADA is back up to 70 cents. It's up 10.5%. Ethereum is at 9.5%, and Bitcoin is up 4.25%. So not bad. I got to do this video right now. I got one take only. I'm gonna try to do it live. If I mess up, I'm cutting the stream off and I gotta try the video on live, or maybe I'll try again, because sometimes I mess these videos up. But we're gonna try to do it. In one take here. So let's see what we got. When I went live today, I never expected all these super chats. Thank you. Really glad I went live today. All right, let's try the weekly outlook and prediction. Okay, I just got to get my thoughts ready. Futures are slightly up. We're in extreme fear, so most likely we're going to see recovery. We are going to see recovery, but I think it's going to lead to a lower high. And we're going to trend down. And if we don't get news, that it's changing, you're going to see the crypto market come down. Or you're going to see the stock market come down. Okay. I'm going to explain that. I think we're going to see a red week, but I think we're going to see recovery first. Alright. I don't need these. Alright, what are we thinking? Remember, recovery to downside. Meme stocks. I'm gonna have to go with GameStop still following. My prediction, probably gonna see some recovery, but we might see further downside here if the market tanks. So we have to keep that in mind. This week is gonna depend a lot on what is going on with SPY and the overall market. If SPY dumps down, the meme stocks are going to go with it. And then that's when we either have to prepare for the end game of margin calls, or do you sell? That's your choices. But at this point, for as far as AMC and GME, I have shares that are in profit on GME. I have warrants. I would take profit on the shares that I'm in profit. I would hold the other shares that are not in profit, and I would hold the warrants. AMC, I would either just hold or potentially cash out and buy crypto. But I'm going to explain in the weekly outlook prediction that you're most likely going to see slight recovery of the market, and then we'll probably pull back in the later half of the week. Data drops are not happening. Data drops are not happening. And honestly, it's probably going to be a red week for everything. Unless Trump comes out and says this whole thing's done, then we could get pumpage. I think what we're going to see is SPY slightly recover in the beginning of the week, and everyone's going to be like, yeah, we're all good. And then you're going to see dumpage, which is going to take probably everything else with it. If crypto gets sold off as liquidity, you'll see crypto come down, obviously, but I think crypto will eventually decouple. Key altcoins, though, and Bitcoin mostly. Mostly just Bitcoin. I'm not trying to be a Bitcoin maxi, but straight up, guys, it's mostly going to be Bitcoin. I have to keep it 100 with you guys. Bitcoin is the biggest, and Ethereum is the next one. Ethereum has ETFs, and then XRP is moving up there as well. But if you want to be secure and not see everything go to zero, Bitcoin. Even ADA, a very, very strong coin, was down 80%. Now, it's up a massive amount. It went to 36 cents, and it's back up to 70 cents. It's up 95%. So if you bought the dip, you're up massively on that. But, you know, you get that volatility in altcoins. Bitcoin is actually looking good for a possible recovery because we actually just came back to the accumulation zone and broke out. Ethereum is actually still inside this falling wedge, so that looks good. All right, let's go in. The darkest thing is going to be for AMC and GME. I'm expecting some recovery in the beginning half of the week, and then maybe downside in the later half of the week. And I have to make it clear that this week is different as far as red and green, because I'm not going to call it, because if Trump comes out and says we're good and China and I made a deal, we're going to pump. If Trump gives us more news about the tariffs, we're going to dump. So we're literally riding on that. But as far as the technicals are showing me, it's saying that we're going to recover. GameStop should recover back up. AMC should recover back up. SPY should recover back up. And then we'll see where we go from there. This recovery could take throughout this week. All right, I think we're ready. We're going to try one time to do the weekly outlook and prediction live. If I can't do it, bro, I got to turn the live off or do a video or something like that. Or maybe not even do a video. Maybe the only people that get my weekly outlook are the people that were live here right now. Maybe that's the benefit of being live. I know some people were waiting for the video right now, but you should be here. We already got we have a peak. We had a peak of 63 people. You know what I mean? Got 44 in the building right now. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. I think we should recover. Markets are gonna open up here soon. Let's see if I can do it. All right, guys, what is up? This is your weekly outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. This video is not financial advice, should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence when buying any stock or crypto asset. With that being said, let's hop in the charts, facts, data showing you what is going on as traders and investors for this week. This week is historical. This week could change everything. This week is riding on a lot of things, and it is very, very speculative. I'm going to say that right off the bat, but I'm going to tell you guys what the charts are saying, what I'm thinking, and the things that are in play for this week. Now, obviously, if you've been paying attention, you guys know that the Trump tariff scare came out and absolutely caused a huge, massive sell-off in the overall market, stocks and crypto. Now, I'm dropping a video about insider trading that happened during this as well. There's a whole other side to this crash. It could have even been orchestrated or timed. But ladies and gentlemen, the bubble could be popping. Now, a lot of people are warning about a Black Monday. I'm going to talk about a few different scenarios of what we could see, but I'm going to tell you guys what the charts are telling me. Let's start with the meme stocks, then we'll move into SPY and the overall market, which is weighing heavily on everything this week. It's important for you guys to understand that what happens to SPY and NASDAQ is going to affect everything across the board. I also made a video showing you guys what I think would happen to crypto and meme stocks in the long term if we were to see a crash. Make sure you guys check that out if you want more information, because I won't be able to break that down in this video. So let's start off with letting you guys know AMC and GME, right? If the market crashes, all right, you're going to see a general pullback on these stocks. Then you have to either play for endgame, like margin calls. Do you think margin calls will come in, which is a possibility, could definitely happen, and squeeze the shorts? Or are you going to take profits and move on, whatever the case may be? That is your decisions, ladies and gentlemen. But what I'm looking at here, you have a very, very nasty 4-hour hammer candle here. RSI is extremely oversold. I think we're going to see recovery. As long as the overall market recovers as well, which I'm going to break down more in the SPY section, I think we will see some recovery in the overall market. You're going to see a recovery in the meme stocks as well. Now, we saw how before things got crazy, AMC was trying to be green. It was actually green while you guys can see was actually moving up, while SQQQ was green as well, which is an index that moves opposite of the market. So the meme stocks can go against the market. AMC was actually trending up before things got crazy, and then it dumped down here in after hours. So again, GameStop was able to recover all the way back up here in after hours. You guys can see it dumped down as well. It was covered all the way back up. AMC stayed down. What I believe AMC is going to try to do tomorrow is break back above 286 and then head towards 290. If we're able to hold 290, $3 is on the cards. And if AMC is able to get above $3, we are back in the game. But if the market dumps down, it is going to unfortunately take the meme stocks with it. So you have to be aware of these Trump tariffs. They are in play this week, and they are what are going to control the market. Again, they can come out of nowhere, because all it takes right now is a true social post and the whole market goes crazy. So we have to be aware of that. We have to be on our toes. What the charts normally do is tell you what's going to happen before the news does come, but it is not every single time. You guys can see that we're outside of the bands here, or we're outside of the bands here on GME. Again, RSI extremely oversold on multiple time frames. These are all indications of buy signals. You also can see that right now we're in fear on the crypto or on the stock market, and in extreme fear in the crypto market. Again, to move the opposite of the herd, buy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. So these are all indications to me that will most likely recover. Also, if GME were to stay on track and keep following my prediction, if these tariffs were not into play, I called for some recovery because we do have the bullish divergence. RSI trending up as price is trending down. We still do have this bullish divergence. This still is in play. We could see a little bit more downside for GME, but overall it looks like AMC and GME want to recover back to the upside, and most likely in the beginning of the week, that's what you're going to see here for the overall market as well. Now, that could vary in the end of the week, and I'm not going to go ahead and say if we're going to have a red or green week this week, because it could change very, very quickly because of the Trump tariffs. But in the beginning of the week, I think we're going to definitely see some recovery here on the meme stocks, and then in the later half of the week, we could potentially see some downside. GME, what we want to see is get back above 2350. If GME is able to reclaim and hold 2350, it's definitely back in the game and most likely going to push back up towards 2433 or 2450. Now, if we get back to 2450, that would be absolutely huge for this week. Let's go ahead and see what happens. A lot of people are talking about a Black Monday. I don't think that's going to be the case, ladies and gentlemen. I'm letting you guys know off the bat. Now, I could be wrong and we could open up and stocks could absolutely be dumped down. I'll talk about what would happen if that is the case, but based off everything I'm seeing here, it looks like that we're going to see recovery in my personal opinion. AMC, again, we want to see back over 290. That way we can head towards $3. If we're back above $3, we're back in the game. Short shares were getting low. Again, remember the AMC vote is coming into play. That's coming up December 10th. In my personal opinion, you want to be voting no, ladies and gentlemen. We do not want more dilution, and the dilution that they're proposing is absolutely massive. We're just now seeing liquidity issues. We're just now starting to see cost of borrow rise. 0.61% cost of borrow here on AMC with only 450,000 short shares. Again, that could change as early as tomorrow morning, but that is something in play. We also have an unusual setup tomorrow as well, because the bond market is going to be closed, and it's not going to be considered a settlement day as well. So just a little bit of speculation. If we were to crash, that would be a very, very bad time to crash, especially while the government is shut down. So again, just know that as well. Now, as far as GME, you guys can see GME a little bit more shares. As you guys can see right now, at time of recording, they have 3.3 million short shares for GME at a cost of borrow of 0.37%. So this is what we're looking at for the meme stocks. Again, as far as fundamentals are concerned, those are still in play. AMC and GME have been doing really, really good. AMC just recently had the Taylor Swift event, which did absolute numbers. GME obviously recently had awesome earnings where they got the double beat. Also, we're seeing them post about these things and bring these things more into the spotlight. So these are all bullish signs and bullish fundamentals. But the thing that scares me the most, obviously, is going to be that vote for AMC. I told you guys how I felt about all of that stuff. I'm not going to break that down in this video, but I do believe that if dilution were to come into play, my money would be better placed elsewhere instead of just holding into absolute zero, or $1.50, whatever the case may be. I did some math here, and it looks like at the current valuation at the time, if we had a float of 1.1 billion, we'd be at about $1.43. So again, that's just all some simple math. The numbers don't lie. In my personal opinion, you want to be voting no. GME warrants still in play. If GME gets past that blast off zone of $32 to $35, anything could happen. So ladies and gentlemen, we broke down why that could also cause a squeeze as well. That is speculation. I don't want to give people's hopes too high, but it's also a major level of support and resistance as well. So if we were able to get above it, you could see some explosive movement. So again, that's $32 to $35 here on GME. If AMC were to be able to get above $6, that's where things could get explosive for AMC. So again, I'm not giving you guys red or green week this week because one post from Truth Social could absolutely cause the markets tumbling. And again, even if you don't hold SPY, you might want to check out what's happening on SPY because it's going to be controlling the overall market, what happens with NASDAQ. This is a market-wide event, ladies and gentlemen. So again, make sure you check out the video as well that I talked about what would happen long-term for the meme stocks. But this is what I'm looking at for tomorrow. I think we're going to see actually most likely a green Monday, despite of what a lot of people are saying. I think there's too much fear. RSI is too oversold. And we're going to see a recovery on AMC and GME. And then SPY. Speaking of SPY, let's go ahead and move into the SPY and the overall stock market, show you guys what's going on there. And then we'll go into cryptocurrency, and then we'll wrap up the video. So SPY bounced outside of the bands. You guys can see RSI is still oversold here on the 2-hour time frame and 4-hour time frame. Bullish hammer candle here for SPY as well on the 4-hour time frame. Way outside of the bands on the 4-hour time frame as well. A lot of people are thinking that we're going to open up and drop down lower, but futures are actually up right now at time of recording. Again, that could change with the post. All right. So unless we get positive news. I think we're going to see more downside in the future, but I think we're going to see a recovery for the most of the week. Monday, Tuesday, maybe into Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, we'll start to pull back. So I think most of this week is actually going to be bullish unless he comes out and says that things are getting worse. Now, if Trump comes out and says that we got good news and we're getting things sorted out, you're going to see the markets fly. There are no data drops because the government shut down right now, so this is the data drop, ladies and gentlemen. This is the data drop, the Trump tariffs, and make sure you're watching Truth Social. I'll be letting you guys know what's going to happen. I go live all the time. We give you guys this news live, and I report it as soon as it happens, so make sure you guys like and subscribe. But overall, I think SPY is going to be recovering, in my personal opinion, pushing to the upside. You're probably going to see SPY move up here pre-market. Now, a lot of people are thinking it's going to drop down. If it were to drop down, it would recover in the morning, okay, and then make a lower high and then break back down. But what I think we're actually going to see is I think we're going to see SPY probably moving up pre-market and then continuing higher, making a lower high overall, probably topping out around maybe Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know why my lines aren't working. I don't know why my lines aren't working, but probably topping out around Thursday or Wednesday, and then moving down. So again, I think we're going to see recovery for SPY pushing up towards 660.02. Major level of support and resistance, 660.02. If SPY is able to break and hold that, you're going to see a nice move towards 665.05. Keep that in mind, and I think it is possible for SPY to go back to 665.05 this week, as long as we don't get any more bad news. So in my personal opinion, I'm actually bullish. A lot of people are saying we're going to open up and the market's going to be absolutely thrust. That could be a possibility. But in my personal opinion, based off what the charts are showing me and what is more likely, we're going to see a recovery. Again, we're in fear right now for the stock market. When it opens up, it could even go lower than that. Crypto market, not that that's relevant for stocks, but is in extreme fear, so that's, showing buy signals. RSI is extremely oversold on multiple time frames. Yes, we did call for this downside on NASDAQ. As you guys can see, NASDAQ broke down out of this rising wedge, trended up and broke down. Similar to what you saw here, trended up and broke down, but what happened after? It trended back up. Okay, so we had this trend up, break down. We could most likely trend back up. Also here on SQQQ, which is an index that moves inverse of NASDAQ. We talked about the falling wedge, and we did predict this move to the upside for SQQQ. It looks like SQQQ wants to pull back, but then continue up. So that means the market overall is going to recover and then continue down. So that's what I'm looking at for SPY in the overall market. I think we're going to see mostly recovery this week. Maybe in the later half of the week start to pull back, basically setting up a massive bull trap. But these selling candles are huge. This is not something to be playing with. This selling is absolutely insane. We lost trillions. This was a huge flash crash across the board for stocks and crypto. There was also insiding trading that took place. Things are getting crazy, ladies and gentlemen. So again, make sure you guys stay locked in. But this is what we're looking at for SPY in the overall market. Let's go ahead and move into BTC crypto, show you guys what's going on there, and then we'll wrap up this weekly outlook prediction. So again, I did a video, or it's going to be released soon, about the, if you guys are watching this, it's going to be released soon about the insider trading. But crypto also showing me that potentially the stock market will recover as well. Crypto has been rallying ever since. Also, despite all of the stuff going on, like I said, crypto, fear and greed, and extreme fear. Anytime it's in extreme fear, that's always a buy signal, okay? In my personal opinion, that's always a buy signal. You want to do the opposite of the herd. Be greedy when others are fearful. Be fearful when others are greedy. If you look at things like the BTC rainbow chart, we're in the buy zone. So that's also another indication that this is a buy signal. Bitcoin held up more than some of the altcoins. Altcoins seen absolute flushes. Cardano, ADA being one of the worst. XRP broke down as well. These are up massively off of the lows. Cardano, ADA up over 95% from the lows right now. So again, massive gains if you did buy the bottom. But overall, it looks like we're still in accumulation patterns. Now, this is speculation. I do think whales are definitely in play, because every time it seems like these cryptos are going to break out, like when Ethereum was hitting new all-time highs, it seems like whales knocked it down. Bitcoin was hitting new all-time highs, and then we had this freaking crazy flash crash, which took us back down. Now, I did talk about a possibility of us coming back down and retesting this and coming down to like 113,000, but I didn't think we were going to get a crazy flash crash. But the crazy thing about all of it is now Bitcoin is retested and breaking out of it. If Bitcoin gets back above 115,700, it's back in the game and it's going to push up, and that's going to take altcoins with it, showing signs of recovery. Again, especially with crypto, I think this was a shakeout, ladies and gentlemen. Do not let them shake you out of your assets, especially things like crypto that are finite. Bitcoin is finite, XRP are finite. XRP has a huge full cap, but again, Bitcoin in particular, I'm not trying to be a Bitcoin maxi, is a finite resource, ladies and gentlemen. So do not let them shake you out, in my personal opinion, especially if you're holding for the long haul, which I am. Again, this is just my research that I'm sharing with you guys. Ethereum also in an accumulation pattern. You guys can see this falling wedge here, which could easily break to the upside. We could easily see a break to the upside after this accumulates. Ethereum back over the key level of 4,000. That's very, very bullish, up 9% on the day. We're seeing huge recoveries here in the crypto market. Again, we're seeing stock futures up. Most likely, we're going to see a recovery and a continuation to the upside for crypto and the stock market. Now, depending on what happens, again, I made a video about this. If this were to go long term and the stock market were to crash, I think that initially crypto would sell off as liquidity. As positions get unwind and liquidity also over leveraged positions get wiped out. And that's what we saw here. We saw a cascading effect because people were long leveraged and they got wiped out and sent to zero. So it exacerbated the move. But I think crypto would bottom and decouple. We never had Bitcoin in 2008 when we had a huge market crash. But I think crypto has matured enough where it could decouple. But I'm talking about key crypto coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, ones that have ETFs, XRP, the massive market cap coins. The other altcoins would definitely suffer. But I think Bitcoin, there is a scenario where it could decouple in a market crash or hold up better than other assets. Okay, something similar to maybe like a gold, and Ethereum, something similar to like a silver. And also there is a scenario where depending on what the crash is caused from, we saw it in the banking crisis, which I talked about in the video, where Bitcoin actually went up while the market went down. So there's been actual time where Bitcoin has been a flight to safety and people ran to it while the market was crashing down. So this is what we're looking at for the crypto market. Again, we want to see a recovery. XRP took a huge hit. Needs to get back above 275. Definitely a buy zone right now. In my personal opinion, anything under 250 is an absolute steal for XRP. It broke down out of its accumulation pattern right now, so we just want to see XRP get back above $3 if possible. It's going to be a long way up. Definitely want to see Bitcoin recover regardless of what coin you have, because Bitcoin recovery is going to be key to the whole entire market recovering, especially because of what is happening. So you want to see Bitcoin get back above 115,700. So even if you don't hold Bitcoin, start rooting for Bitcoin because you want to see it back above that key level. That way you can push up. Right now we're using it as resistance. We've been rallying up, so we might need to pull back a little bit, cool down. But it looks like we're going to see recovery with the overall market heading in tomorrow, and then most likely the rest of this week. It looks like Ethereum potentially could still break out as well. Bitcoin could potentially break out as well, because we literally just came back for the retest, which I talked about. This could actually be the breakout, and then this could be the retest, and then you see actually a huge move higher, which would be insane, especially if this was a shakeout. So again, do the opposite of the herd. Be greedy when others are fearful. Crypto dips are for buying, in my personal opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, this was your weekly outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. If you found this video informative, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe. Press subscribe for more content like this. If you watch to the end of this video, I truly appreciate you, because so people watch to the end helps me out immensely. And as always, y'all, make sure you have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out, fam. All right, I think we got one. What do you guys think? All right, we got to get this out fast. So I can't play any games. I've been live for an hour and a half. I have to get off live. Guys, I appreciate you guys. Remember, I think this was a massive crypto shakeout. It's crazy that insider traders made all that bank. What a crazy world we live in. Guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Andrew, thank you for your massive support. I was not expecting that when I went live today. It's huge, brother. Thank you. I actually have to... Andrew came in crazy today on the weekend. What a legend. And after a crash, too. This guy's balling. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you, anybody who watched these videos live. I'm going to be posting both of them. I'm going to post the weekly outlook and prediction first, and then I'm going to post the crypto flash crash video. So thank you, guys. Make sure you guys have fun. Make sure you stay safe. Make money. Peace out, fam. I'm out of here. I'm going to get this stuff rolling, get the content machine going, and keep it moving. I'll see you guys Monday. Make sure you tune in for the live stream. Peace. So Bitcoin might need to pull back a little bit and then come back up. This is your weekly outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. This video is not financial advice, should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence for buying any stock or crypto asset. With that being said, the top in the charts, facts, data showing you what is going on as traders and investors for this week. This week is... Thanks, Ellie Zen. Sair and Army Bro, Kai Supreme, DH. I'll see you guys later. You're welcome. Peace, y'all.